Has it ever happened to you that you really like someone and perhaps you feel like you're made for each other, like you're really, really attracted to that person, and then it turns out that they didn't even notice your existence or they're just not interested at all? That has happened to me, and oh my god, I know how awful it is. So I really wanted to talk about what's causing unrequited love and how you can actually get out of that pattern and never be bothered by this ever again. And probably when you reach that state, unrequited love will just not be happening in your life. So the first time that I experienced unrequited love was in kindergarten. I remember I really liked a boy, and I just found out that he likes another girl. At that time, I just recall that I was in disbelief that he likes another girl, because it kind of shattered my belief that if you have some feelings towards someone, well, then they should reciprocate them. And the next time, it was like the most painful one. I had just started high school and I had seen a boy in my school and I really liked him. Like, he was so perfect. I was really shy. He was from another class, and I just decided to text him, I think in Facebook, and he never texted me back. Oh my god, like, that was so excruciating for me. I was again in disbelief, but this time I started making so many stories in my head. I was thinking, well, I must be so worthless that I'm not even worth the effort to reply back. Maybe I must be so ugly. So I was making all those awful stories in my head about myself. And the truth is that I started understanding, like really seeing clearly this situation after maybe at least a decade. I'm 29 now, and this happened like when I was 15, 16. So my belief was that if you like someone, then they must like you back. Like, there's just no other way. I was a romantic at heart, and I haven't seen a movie where there was unrequited love yet. And my only explanation at that moment was that there must be something really wrong with me. And it even got to a point where I was thinking, well, maybe I'm never going to be loved. Like, you know, it was like I'm so worthless, basically. Fast forward to now, I feel really lovable. I love myself so much, and like, my worth is not in question. But still, to reach this point, I had to go through some inner work. I had to realize some stuff, and that's the purpose of this video. I want to share all of the things I realized during those years of journey to my healing. So the first one is, what's the purpose of unrequited love in our lives? Well, the outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So everything that happens outside of us is reflecting something going on inside of us. And so unrequited love shows that there's places in your life where you abandon yourself, basically. And this was the first thing that I found out about unrequited love during my research process. And I didn't really understand it. Like, I was trying to find out where am I abandoning myself, and like really trying to fix it so I don't abandon myself. So I finally am loved back by someone. Okay, by someone that I also like back. Because at that time I was being pursued by some people, but I just didn't like them back. Just like my experience. But the deeper truth is that the biggest abandonment was me being so focused on getting myself loved by someone else than just loving myself. Somehow loving myself wasn't enough, and I was really, really craving to be loved by someone else. So I feel like the biggest shift will happen when you reach a state where you love yourself so much that you just don't really need to be loved by someone else. And of course, your ego may still want to be loved, but when you really understand with your whole body this truth, that all that's important is for you to love yourself, for you to believe that you're lovable because you love yourself and God loves you always, then everything will fall into place. So I feel like this is the biggest abandonment. And of course, you will start seeing that you're abandoning yourself in so many different areas of your life. But this is happening because of this core abandonment. And once you really believe that loving yourself is enough, then the rest of the areas you will naturally also start making amendments, and it will be way easier to do so. The other thing that really helped me is to do shadow work. So think about a person that likes you or pursues you, but you don't like back. You don't want a relationship with that person. What are your thoughts about that person? What's the reason you don't want a relationship with them? Write all of those things down. For example, my reasons were I was just not attracted to them. They were off-putting to me. Some of them I thought were like weird looking in some way. And actually, this was part of the reasons I was so unconsciously at that time. I was so affected by not being liked back because I thought, oh my God, if the reasons I don't like these people are like this, then probably that person that doesn't like me back thinks the same about me. So I'm like these people. Like maybe there's something really wrong in the way that I look, or maybe I just have off-putting energy. And so shadow work really helps in those cases. So what's shadow work? Your shadow are the qualities that you project onto other people that for some reason you are unwilling to accept. You also have these qualities in you. So that's why you have like really strong emotional reaction when people demonstrate these qualities. It's because they're a part of you and you cannot accept them for some reason. So this can be the case with really negative qualities, and it can be the case with also really positive qualities, like for example when you really like a celebrity because they're so beautiful, so talented, or whatever reason. This means that you have these qualities yourself as well, but you're just disowning them for some reason. Shadow work helps you uncover what are those reasons. Why are you disowning those qualities and integrating them? Because if you disown a full-on quality, like let's say one of mine was looking weird, like there's something wrong with how I look, and by me disowning this, I was not being able to relax with the way that I look. I had severe body dysmorphia during my teenage years, and you just don't feel good in your skin, and because of that you're not able to be the full authentic you and relax, because you're so obsessed with hiding all your imperfections. All those negative qualities actually have a positive side. So what would be the positive side of being weird, of having a weird appearance? For example, when you have a weird appearance, you look very unique. You're probably standing out in some way. Having a non-conventional appearance naturally pushes you to work more on your depth of character than be so focused on your appearance and relying only on your appearance to advance in your life. So by not accepting this, you're really throwing away all of those gifts. And I know, especially for women, just talking about this, it can be so painful because we are taught that beauty is so important for women, and God forbid if you're not so gorgeous, like if you're not perfect looking, it feels like your life is over. But the real truth is that that's not the case. And you know the story of beauty standards changing all the time. So you cannot even know what's considered really beautiful, because what you think is weird about you, it might have been considered so gorgeous at some point, and it could be considered beautiful in the future. Just sidetracking, in my opinion, every woman deserves to feel like the most beautiful woman in the world, because there's nothing stopping you from believing that. So, shadow work. When you own all of those negative qualities that you really despise in other people, then you will just have so much more space in your body, because you will not be so busy trying not to be weird looking or trying not to be not normal, that you will have more freedom to be authentic. And trust me, that feeling is so amazing. Like once you go there, you will not want to go back. So this work really helps. If you want to do shadow work, I highly recommend the books of Debbie Ford. I know that she specializes in shadow work. I've read one book of hers that I really liked. It's called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, and in that book she shows so many techniques that will help you integrate your own shadow and create more space in your body to be able to be authentic naturally. Another way to look at unrequited love is that we attract this experience because of the stories we are already telling in our minds about ourselves. Recall a time when you found out that someone you like doesn't like you back or is not interested. And think about all of the stories that appeared in your mind. My stories were I'm worthless, I'm ugly, of course he doesn't like me. So these were stories that were already in my subconscious, and they really played a role in me attracting this painful situation. And thanks to this situation, they were able to appear into my conscious. I could really hear them clearly. At that time, I didn't know what that meant. I thought that these thoughts are the truth, but another truth bomb: if you don't know, your thoughts are not necessarily the truth. Your thoughts are often developed because of a survival mechanism, because you experience something and you just develop the belief about that situation, and then that belief or those beliefs are just running on autopilot. And you don't have to believe in that autopilot. You can actually question it, and you can actually change your beliefs. And the way to change them is to replace them with more expansive beliefs. You can replace the I'm worthless with I'm worthy, I'm ugly with I'm beautiful, and just choose other beliefs that would serve the life you desire. Think, who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to have? Make it clear in your heads. You can also journal it. And then think, what kind of beliefs would the person that's living this life have? And start affirming those every day. The more you affirm those beliefs, the more you can feel into it, the faster they will drill down into your subconscious and will start reflecting into your life. There's also another reason someone might not like you, and it's not that deep. It could be just a redirection. Of course, if that thing appeared in your life and you're having really strong emotional reaction to it, then that means that there's something inside of you that attracted it. But you will see that at some point when you work through those other things that I mentioned, even if unrequited love happens to you, you will just not take it personally, because it's not really personal. Because even if you don't believe it, you are lovable and you are worthy. This is one of my core beliefs, that my worth is not in question, ever. No matter what happens, no matter how people treat me, no matter if someone doesn't like me back or disrespects me, my worth is just not in question, ever. If I have some emotions lingering after the situation, I take it as an opportunity for growing and releasing some stuck energies that I have, or refining my beliefs about life, and just move on. Don't take it too personally. Another thing I like to talk about is, if you're a woman and you really like a man, how do you pursue them? How do you show them that you like them? Because it was honestly so embarrassing when I was texting this guy and he didn't even reply, that at some point I just decided that I'm not pursuing men anymore. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. I love that version of myself from 8th grade so much. But I feel like as women, we don't really have to pursue, and when we go into the pursuing role, we are more in our masculine energy, and this way we are not allowing men to show up in their masculine energy. This is just the law of balance. If someone is really alpha, really pursuing, directing the relationship, then the other person either has to step back and allow them to do whatever they're doing, or they have to fight back. And many times we don't fight back, and this happens naturally. So I prefer to be predominantly in my feminine energy when I'm around men, when I'm in dating situations. I'm married now, but even as a married woman, I still prefer to remain in my feminine energy around my husband. And how does that look like? Let's say you're at a party and you see a man that you're really attracted to, and you don't really directly want to pursue them, like you're not going to ask them out. What you can do is really showcase that you're available. You look available when, for example, you're not wearing headphones or you're not talking on the phone, you're dancing and just having a good time, you're smiling at other people around you. And this is when you appear approachable. So this gives a chance to that person you like to notice that and approach you. You don't have to go through shenanigans like giving your number to the person or whatever. Another thing you can do is visualize how they approach you and how you're actually talking to each other. This will help attract this situation into your reality. And if you're really into the person, like you really feel intuitively that you want to go talk to them, then just do it. That's okay, but I would really advise you to also be okay with the fact that things might not work out. I found that a really good mindset in dating situations is approaching dating as a way to get to know yourself and get to know the other person, and don't take anything personally. Try to have as much fun as you can by having self-respect, of course. That was it for today. Also, please have in mind that the topics that I touched on, each of them is like a class for itself. So 30 minutes is just not enough to really cover those topics in depth. I am working on a program where I will be really going in depth with these things that will really help you shed all that's in the way of you becoming your embodied goddess self. So this is just a preview of all the deep work we are going into there. Have a beautiful day.